Our favorite cryptos are deep in the red, and if you stick around, you're gonna learn why. The SEC dismisses a major case. We also get some guidance from the SEC regarding proof of stake, saying it isn't a security. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And who do we get to blame for the red up on the screen?
China. And
before we get into the news, like memes slipping big time and entering the buy zone, your comments come first. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. Hunker Spanky says, I requested the IPO clause. I requested it too. I know a bunch of you did. I'm hopeful we all get it, but yo, have you seen the numbers for it? They are totally over requested for what the supply is. I hope you all get it though. Gary Dillingham says everyone is operating 5G. Powell is still using dial-up and paper fax. I agree. I did a video on it. I will have it linked at the end, where Jerome Powell is completely incompetent. Speaking of, Mike Chajinski says this is true. Jay Powell has always been behind. The man is incompetent. Powell would have been a good Fed head in the late 90s, early 2000s. Diet Cola says, damn, quantum leap. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I threw a quantum leap reference in there yesterday. Like I said, that video's linked at the end. Bitcoin sitting at 105,561. ETH is 2,600. XRP at 218. Look, that's friend zone. We're going to be getting into the buy zone sooner or later, ladies and gents. Look at this. Meme, some big red. Ondo, big in the red. Filecoin, virtual, near, Litecoin. Woo. The market is deep. What did I ask you a few days ago? I said, are we going to have a major correction by the first half of June? 60% of you said yes. 1,300 votes. Vote. It'll be linked in the description down below. The SEC clarifies that proof of stake isn't a security. Well, who the fuck cares? Do you know why? Because until it's a law through Congress, the next El Presidente comes in, they can change all this because this is this current president's version of the SEC. The U.S. SEC Division of Corporate Finance clarified that some staking activities are not security transactions. Commenting on the directive, Commissioner Hester Pierce acknowledged that this is a welcomed clarity for firms offering staking services. Cool. Why don't you put a law in the book so we don't undo this crap 3.5 years from now? Today's statement provides a welcome clarity for stakers and staking as a service providers in the United States. The division statement is applicable to persons who self-stake or self-serve, for those of us that haven't had fun, certain covered crypto assets on proof of stake or delegated proof of stake networks. Okay, cool. Why is the crypto market in the red? Stock market, cryptos are down. Why? Because China-U.S. tensions heat up. U.S. stocks fell on Friday as investors absorbed a fresh wave of tariff uncertainties. Ooh. President Trump on Friday ratcheted up tensions with China, claiming it has totally violated an agreement with us. This was 3 weeks after there was a little bit of tariff reprieve. Let's go to Truth Social from El Presidente himself. They call him El Guapo, the beautiful. 2 weeks ago, China was in grave economic danger. The very high tariffs I set made it virtually impossible for China to trade in the United States marketplace, which is by far #1 in the world. We went, in effect, cold turkey with China, and it was devastating for them. Many factories closed, and there was, to put it mildly, civil unrest. I saw what was happening, and I didn't like it for them. Not for us. I made a fast deal with China in order to save them from what I thought was going to be a very bad situation, and I didn't want to see that happen. Because of this deal, everything quickly stabilized, and China got back to business as usual. Everybody was happy. That is good news. The bad news is that China, perhaps not surprisingly to some, has totally violated the agreement with the U.S. So much for being Mr. Nice Guy. So now, because of more tariff problems, y'all better be drinking. Look, it's Friday. No excuse. I can't drink. You can't. Just, look, bombs away. You better have a handle ready. Bombs away. So because of now tariff tensions escalating between the United States and China, we're eating what? A big poop sandwich, everyone. Because remember, I asked you what's better, nothing burgers or poop sandwiches. 82% of you voted and said nothing burgers are better than poop sandwich. Well, guess what's on the menu today? Poop sandwiches. Let's keep learning. SEC dismisses a lawsuit against Binance crypto exchange. And if I read one comment down below that goes, bro, why is the market red when there's so much good news? Well, you obviously didn't watch the segment about Trump said tariffs are bad with the United States and China and it made the market red. No. Let's get back into this. U.S. SEC Binance, they dismissed the case. Yeah, the SEC Commission on Thursday voluntarily dismissed its civil lawsuit against Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. A joint stipulation of dismissal signed by lawyers for the SEC, Binance, and Binance founder CZ was filed in Washington, D.C. The SEC said dismissing the enforcement case was appropriate in the exercise of its discretion and as a policy matter. Its dismissal is with prejudice, meaning the SEC cannot pursue the case again. In a statement, the Binance spokesperson called the dismissal a landmark moment. We're deeply grateful to the SEC Chairman Paul Atkins and the Trump administration for recognizing that the innovation can't thrive under regulation by enforcement. An SEC spokesperson declined additional comment. Well, no shit. All right. Volume in the crypto market up 146 billion. So who's making money while the market's red? Bald-headed players like Brian Armstrong. Yeah, that's right. Exchanges make money while the market's green or red. They make money on volume. So they don't give a shit. Volatility serves the exchanges. This is something we need to pay attention to. Altcoin season index. We're sliding backwards, ladies and gents. 20 out of 100, which means BTC is holding its own better. BTC down 1.75%. ETH down 2. Solana down 5. XRP down 4. You know what I'm talking about. Institutional money. We had an outflow day. That's not good. It's a little one. When you zoom out to the 1 year, you're like, oh, it doesn't even really show up on the map. No, so I'm not really too worried about that. Going to XRP price right here. Let's take a look at the, whoa. Oh. Now, be honest with you. I don't really think this is buy zone. I really don't. I think buy zone for XRP is $2. Now, if you want to nibble a little bit, yo, that's up on you. But $2.18, zoom out to the 1 month, and yo, you've seen we've been lower than that. So I don't know. I mean, for those you like to DCA and just throw a little bit of money into it every Friday when you get your paychecks, yo, that's up on you. But we've seen you've been able to get it for way cheaper than that. Volume for XP up 37%. So again, exchanges are making money on players panic selling. Let's go to those candlesticks and see if anything pops out at us. We're going to go to the 15-minute because look at this candlestick-a-roni right here. What's the low on this one? 213. Okay, getting a little bit closer to our targets. Did anyone snipe at 213, or do you think there's going to be even more pain to come? Why? Do you think China's going to snap back after what Trump said with them violating the tariff? Because you got to think, this is all just a big ballsack war between the United States and China. Also, there's a space race between the United States and China. China's going and doing the moon stuff. You know, the United States is trying to do theirs. This is basically who's bigger than who's, and now you're seeing it with the trade war escalate yet again. So, we had a few week reprieve right here where we were doing pretty good, and now ever since we hit those nice 265 prices, we are now pulling on back from the May 12th to 14th highs of XRP. May has been a very interesting, volatile month. You've been able to sell to make some profits, but you've also been what? Put back into the friend zone. Zoom out a little bit further and you go to the 4-hour candlestick-a-roni and look at this. Look at this. You have basically been playing a little bit of choppy action right here as tariffs have been ruling the roost. And you know what we're due for? We're due for a massive correction. We're due for a massive sub $2 correction. Look, you had one in February. You had a couple in March. You had one in April. You didn't have one in May, though. That's why I asked you in the beginning. You think we're due for a major correction? That's why I asked, and you answered. And if you haven't, it's linked in the description below. So who do we get to blame?
China.
I love them. China.
There you go, ladies and gents. So it doesn't matter what Saudi prince is buying XRP. It doesn't matter if it's BlackRock, White Rock, Crack Rock, or any rock out there buying XRP. Macros rule the roost. And right now, trade tensions between the United States and China are a bigger ball of effect than any of the buying and news specific to XRP. Even BTC and the Sailor fans out there, right, that are buying billions and billions and billions worth of BTC can't outfight, can't outweigh, can't outpush all the negative news with the trade stuff, with the macros. You got Jerome leaving rates high for longer. You've got the trade tensions going on. You've got Russia and Ukraine problems going on. All those things hold much more weight to the economy than does a little bit of buying, or a lot of buying from like the Sailor Friends, right? Marathon, Maranow, Riot, and all those players out there. So if you're frustrated with price action, I get it. But remember, macros rule the roost. And remember, you could always go on Twitter if you feel bad, and within a few scrolls after you type XRP, you could always find some fucking whack job out there, some knob gobbler, you know, some smack monkey saying, oh, XRP is going to be $10,000 by Friday. All right, Garmin, what day is it? Oh, it's Friday right now, and yeah, we're not at $10,000. So if you need hopium, go somewhere else. If you need copium, go somewhere else. You want news with some humor? This is where you go. And if you want some real humor with some naughtiness, with some pretty raunchy jokes, what about the video that's up on the screen right now? I dropped it late yesterday. The algorithm didn't push it. Why? Well, because it was naughty. And if you stayed at the end, guess what? You get rewarded with a naughty video. So choo-choo what? Choo-choo biz nachos and happy motherfucking Friday. Tariff, tariff, tariff. Drink, drink, drink. And hydrate, girlfriends.